The NES had a 3D platformer, and that's only slightly clickbait. Let's get into it. So today I'm back with another Backlog review, which is where I just review a random game, whether retro or new. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but honestly I'm going to stick with that. And today we are reviewing Snake Rattle N Roll on the NES. This was released in, I believe, 1990 by Rare of Banjo Kazooie and Connect Adventures fame, or did they make Connect Sports? They might have made both. Either way, that's what they do. And in 1990, they're making Snake Rattle N Roll, which is truly a 3D platformer. It is isometric, but that doesn't make it 2D. I don't know. It's definitely a 3D. It's definitely a platformer that is 3D, so I'm calling it a 3D platformer. And it's definitely a collectathon too, which is cool because if you think of other platformers at the time, like Mario and whatnot, the collectibles really didn't do anything. At least I don't think the coins in Mario do anything. They might give you an extra life or add to your score or something, but you don't really need to get any of the coins in Mario, you know? But in Snake Rattle N Roll, you do need to either defeat enemies or eat these little balls that I think have a name that isn't little balls. But you eat those or you defeat enemies and you get points, and then there's it's like that thing you knock with a hammer at the carnival that, like, if it goes up to the top and dings a bell, that means you get enough points, and then the door to the next level opens. So the gameplay really is exploring these levels, killing all the enemies, finding out where the little pellets that you can eat spawn from and trying to catch them. They kind of run around. It's a little hard to catch them. But yeah, it's a really fun and honestly familiar gameplay loop if you've played other kind of collectathon 3D platformers. You just need to explore the level, see what's there to find, and then eventually you'll get enough stuff that'll let you advance. Now, this being a platformer on the NES, there are not infinite continues, and it is hard, especially towards the end. So I've never beat this game, and I probably never will without save states, but I do want to go through and play it all with save states because I do genuinely like this game. For the progression, you're kind of climbing up like a mountain, and I assume as you get higher, the levels kind of get more steep, and you're doing more like climbing platforming instead of just kind of running around on flat plains and finding enemies. Not a terribly long game. Obviously, a lot of these games are not terribly long because you're supposed to beat them in one life. And while this game was a very early isometric 3D platformer, and isometric is kind of like a bad word. People really don't like isometric controls, which if that ruins this game for you and makes it unplayable, I understand. It is weird getting used to kind of like the fact that you move diagonally instead of front and back. But if you can get past that, this is legitimately a really fun game, and I think it's very interesting to compare it to something like Sonic 3D Blast, which came out like half a decade and basically 2 game generations later. This game's better, just by a mile. It looks better and it plays better. Looks is maybe a little more dubious. Obviously, 3D Blast has more fidelity. It has even, I think, some videos that are just like kind of crunched down a bit. Obviously, this game has no videos in it. But with how they use the colors, Rare is just so good at using color and making their worlds vibrant and fun to look at. And they use the NES's capabilities successfully. This is a later NES game coming out in 1990, and it shows. The colors really do pop. The models truly do look like they have depth, which is really cool. I think they succeeded at that really well in RC Pro-Am as well, which is their other NES game from this time that I happen to think of right now. The character designs are really cute. You're just kind of a snake head, and I think you can pick up like more parts of your body, and then you kind of get longer, and that just represents you having more health or more lives or something. Kind of like on the cover art, you're segmented. Kind of like a caterpillar or something. Not quite like a snake. But the world is very quirky. The music is very like playful and fun and charming, and the big sprites when it shows on like the windscreen or the title screen just look so full of personality. This whole world feels really full of personality, which is something games like Sonic 3D Blast kind of fail at. You're in Sonic 3D Blast, it feels like you're just kind of running around a plane with random bumps and no meaning to it and no real design thought put into it. But Snake Rattle N Roll has real designed levels that are actually like fun to explore and have a logical progression to them. There is some precision platforming occasionally, which can be difficult being an isometric game. You have to kind of account for the fact that you're diagonal. But literally, if you just hold the NES controller kind of diagonal, that works for me. It makes my brain understand what's happening a little more. There's a lot of like water traps, and if you fall in the water, a shark slowly swims at you. You have time to escape, which I think is a very cool way for a platformer to use water. If you think of something like Mario or Sonic, if you touch the water, or I guess not Mario, but if you think of something like, I didn't want to say Sonic again because I keep ripping on 3D Blast, but if you think of something like Sonic and you touch the water, you die just instantly. But in Snake Rattle N Roll, you're obviously not supposed to go in the water and you get punished for doing so, but you do have time to jump back out and escape, which makes the game a little more forgiving, which is very nice. There's also pickups that give you a lot of points, just like diamonds and what I think is like a door. I don't really know, but they just both give you points that help you finish the levels quicker. There's a big ugly foot enemy that takes like 55 hits to kill, but your little tongue attack like stuns enemies. So that gives you a lot of points. You can sit there and just kind of take it out pretty easily. But yeah, overall, I'd say do not overlook this game. It's like probably $5-6 if you find it in the wild. It's really cheap because people don't want to play it because it's isometric, probably. But it's a rare game from 1990 that is a well-made 3D platformer, in my opinion. I would give this game a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it is a little clunky. It is way too hard. It does have some of those NES issues. But overall, it's one of my favorite platformers on the NES, and it is a lot of fun if you can get past some of the janky parts of it. So, thank you for watching. I hope you guys check out this game. Let me know what you guys think of these videos, if you'd rather me record longer videos, if this shorter form works for you. Definitely works better for me, and it kind of feels a little more like a diary, which is kind of fun. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Follow me on other platforms. Have a good day.